So where did I leave off? Yeah, so basically we met with the subcommittee briefly, tried to keep it up around 30,000 feet. Can I explain how we got to the point where we asked for the funding last year? The long and short of it is really we're just need to do something down there because the present building that's there is made out of plywood and wooden beam. It sits right on the ground, and at some point in time, it's going to get beyond the point of being able to be repaired. So we went through a whole bunch of host of different topics to cover. Laid out the schedule. I think what we all came to consensus on was that it probably makes the most amount of sense not to push for any advancement towards asking for construction dollars for Springtown meeting, to wait for the fall. From my perspective and the people on my side of this, we'd rather get it right than get it in. So taking a little bit of extra time, wasn't something that we were too concerned with at this point. Some things that we have coming up that materialize out of that. So the subcommittee, myself, and Weston and Sampson will take a site walk in the next couple of weeks, just to put our feet on the ground, see everything, talk everything through while it's in front of us. I think it changes a little bit of how you perceive things by being down there. And then from Weston and Sampson's end, so before we can really get into anything juicy with too much detail and actually start, playing with shapes on paper, they need to do some of the survey and some of the preliminary design things so they can get, the dimensions and kind of build up our barriers or our limits of what the scope will be as far as a horizontal spread. It can be on paper, and then from there we could advance into some more of the more detailed things, building construction and things like that. I'm not trying to be deliberately vague, but that's kind of where we left it. I think the intent from at least the DPW side, we have a rough idea of what we think will end up being there, what might not end up being there, but we're really just going to let, what the data dictates to us decide what ends up ultimately being there, and then how we can match that in with maintaining our program the way that it's set up now would be the end goal. So what'll happen once the contract is fully executed by you, Joe, and a couple other people, the survey crews are about 3.5 weeks out. They'll start first. There's some wetland flagging that has to go on so we know where the delineation lines are. And then once they get that on paper and we do the site visit with everybody, we engage the subcommittee again and we could start to work. I don't think I missed anything that we really covered, and it's a little vague. So, it'll get more detailed as it comes for sure. But now it's intentionally wide open. And then as we dial in, we'll incrementally work our way down into what will ultimately be the final recommendation.
Where's it going to go?
So right now, I would love to be in this meeting telling you that I hit the Powerball or had some other plot of land where I could move it anywhere other than where it is, but it would go close proximity to where it exists today on Hot Street at the pit. So there'll be a little bit of question depending on what the survey tells us, where exactly on the site that may go. Will it shift a little left, right, further back, in? We don't know yet. So those are some of the things that as we start the subcommittee and working through, we'll be ironing that out and then coming back here and presenting to you folks. We get to that.
Joe, what's the budget or the amount of the contract?
So the amount of the contract is 288,400. And in the contract that you have, you'll also see, so there's a contingency in there for $47,000. We hope that we don't have to touch that. Basically, what that number is, that $47,000 number is, so one of the things we have to do is we have to test underground to figure out what the soils are made of to hold up, all the weight that we're going to put there. That property is, subject to a lot of folklore and people telling you different things and how it was used historically since 1882. So we don't know if there's anything in there that we may encounter that we, would have consciously tried to avoid. So what that contingency number is if we hit something undesirable in the ground, that will take us all the way through the reporting to where we get to an actionable item, and what next steps are would be to remediate that should we come in contact with something that we don't want to. We're optimists, so we hope that we don't end up having to go down that road, but it's built in there as a fail safe. I wouldn't expect, unless this group approves a scope change and a change order, that we would go $1 over anything. The number actually in this budget too is actually less than the preliminary estimates we got at town meeting, so we'll actually be turning back some funds over at the end of this, which would be nice. Yeah.
Determine the capacity.
As far as storage, so what we do, we talked about this the other night, so we took a seasonal average and compared that to what we hold down there now. So it's 3 buildings now. Hold just about 4,000 tons, depending on who's loading it. And our seasonal average historically has been about 4,200. So I think, initially the number was if we built the shed to hold 5,000, it'll give us, enough supply to hold the seasonal average, but we won't be so stuffed into it that there's no room, to operate. But that's subject to change depending on what the environmental conditions show us, construction dollars and all those other things that'll go into consideration. So.
Okay, any questions? I think we're gonna need a motion to approve the contract. Weston Sampson?
Yeah, you're gonna have to sign it.
Yeah.
So I move that we approve Weston and Sampson's contract for $288,400.
Correct.
Yeah, all right.
Second.
Any questions or comments? Seeing none, Jason,
Yes.
Mark,
Yes.
Wayne,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Chrissy. Jeff,
Yes.
unanimous.
I'm also
Bring it
here,
on
Joe, online.
Aaron's out there.
Sorry. Sorry. Yes, for me.
At least you can, thank you, you can kind of hear us.
Thank you. I
We're
appreciate
trying to get a host key to see if we can get
sharing going.
a sharing going. Maybe that's sure I haven't heard that yet.
Can't do anything.
It also doesn't help. My internet is really slow. Like Joe Conway just walked in.
Should we try to share it from our side?
Can't share it, well.
Nah, I mean, you try, Lynn, see if you can have permission.
Can't share capability on the Zoom, that's the problem. We just send it over Teams, do that?
No, because it's through.
Yeah, it says I'm not allowed.
The town.
You sure you're Tim?
I just did that, yeah. See if that works. So I don't know what. Yeah.
Has to be the town of Wakefield Zoom system, so it all gets recorded and archived.
Be nice if the meeting actually showed up on the tablet. It's official meeting, because it wasn't on the tablet, so it wasn't in the system.
Perfect. All right, thank you.
I will show this around.
John. Perfect.
Thank you, Joe.
All right. Me too. All right, so then.
I wish I had a solution for it. But I don't.
Just thinking what the render.
Joe, are you the host?
Nobody's the host right now, that's the problem.
Nobody's the host.
It's something the calendar invite we got, because it didn't sync to my calendar and John just said.
It didn't to mine either, it's why I had an email. I'm like,
Yeah, the safe question.
Ellen, yes.
Isabel has visuals, so. And it's showing colors and finishes, so I think we might have to reschedule. Lauren, I think, I'm putting you on the spot, Lauren, did have a presentation, but I think it's mostly numbers and process, and you likely
Yeah.
talk. Because you all have seen the budget.
I agree with that. I can certainly talk through without the visuals.
Should we try to call Sherry?
We can't hear anybody in the room anymore. Yeah.
Looks like they're muted.
Tim, the room's muted.
We approved the meeting minutes, that was great.
Second. Any discussion or comments? Hearing none. Jason.
Yes.
Mark.
Yes.
Wayne. John.
Yes.
Chrissy.
Yes,
Chip. Aaron.
Yes.
thumbs up.
Talking, but we can't hear
That's all right.
Danny.
cool.
They're approved. We can do the invoices.
Yeah.
All right. I have printed the invoices, not knowing that they. Not know. So here's, we'll do the invoices.
So I can get you.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you, the problem is that it now. We can do it, but if anybody's from the public can't see it, so I'm gonna be a little bit more,
No one from the public is on the call.
no one?
No.
Okay,
People could go back and watch the video.
Yeah, but they can watch it,
Sure.
they'll be able to,
Yeah.
you know,
so we will
we're
approve
open.
invoices. So I move that we approve OPM Construction Administration for left field for the sum of $145,000.
Second.
Any questions or discussion? Hearing none. Jason.
Yes.
Mark.
Yes.
Wayne. John.
Yeah.
Chrissy.
Yeah.
Chip.
Yes.
Aaron.
Yep. Yep.
Unanimous.
I move for SMMA, we approve AE Construction Administration invoice 0063776 for the sum of $104,117.
Second.
Any questions or discussion? Hearing none. Jason.
Yes.
Mark.
Yes.
Wayne.
Yes.
John.
Yeah.
Chrissy.
Yes.
Chip.
Yes,
Aaron.
Yes.
I move that we approve UTS invoice 1199023 for the sum of $11,807.49.
Second.
Any questions or comments? Hearing none. Jason.
Yes.
Mark.
Yes.
Wayne. John.
Yeah.
Chrissy. Chip.
Yes,
Aaron.
Yes. Yes.
It's unanimous.
I move that we approve bond invoice number 18 for the sum of $7,562,108.35.
Yes. Second. I have a question about that 35 cents.
Any further discussion? Or questions? Hearing none. Jason.
Yes.
Mark.
Yes.
Wayne. John.
Yeah.
Chrissy.
Yeah.
Chip.
Yes.
Aaron.
Yes.
Gotta calm down, Aaron. I don't know what that was. So that's unanimous. All right.
You want me
So
to
we
give you
do
a
the
quick-
invoices.
Budget update?
Walk through
Uh,
the SOVs, because that's.
yeah,
Do you want me to give,
we can do that, right? Marcus?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
All right, let's do that.
Those are dollars.
So the first one is change order number 15.
Okay, the first PCO on that is PCO 117.
Yeah.
Come up here, yeah.
Come up here. Grab a chair.
Wheelchair.
Isabel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So first PCO is PCO 117. It's the added flat stock around the roof screen bolts on the roof. We needed to install the flat stock around the roof screen bolts to have a continuous surface for the roof AVB to terminate up and onto the roof screen post. PCO 121 is RFI 430. We're changing the mounting of the fixture F21C from a cove mounted to a suspended from the deck using Unistrut. The fixture was scheduled to be installed in an architectural cove. We don't have one in the auditorium, so we needed to use the Unistrut to support it. PCO 127 is the second sun control device. There's a vestibule on the south side of a building that we needed to connect the sun bracket to, and we needed a second support from that. PCO 141 is additional roof screen support. This was a delegated design. That design came back and we needed additional supports in between the structural steel. So that's that cost. PCO 140, sorry.
I can do 143. It's the behind the TV displays, there are various locations around the school. There's a detail of a recess to hold the TV display, and there's a recess for the outlets. And that was changed to a prefab unit. And then this also includes a credit for blocking out the hole for the box.
PCO 141 is RFI 435. It's adding tearaway around the windows where the MDF and sills are coming after drywall. So unfortunately, we didn't get the MDF and sills installed before drywall. So once they do get installed, they get shimmed out and then they come away from where we cut the drywall. So we had to put in this tearaway trim, tape it all back in. PCO 717 is what's the air premium time for shop fabrication and field labor to stay ahead of the carpenters framing walls. Due to the multiple rain days in the spring, the carpenters, when it was raining out, instead of working on the exterior of the building, they would come in. This kind of got in the way of Worcester Air, so we gave them the premium time to get ahead and away from them into the other buildings, which is building D. PCO 716 is Monty. PTO, this is they were trying to get the underground done out of area D. The weather was impacting them, so we got them to work some more longer days and some Saturdays to get that done. PCO 722, the unit strut size increased for the sound acoustic barrier ceiling due to the delegated design. We also had them increase the size to eliminate the need for the threaded rod. We had that adjustment to accelerate the process and get the unit strata up quick and the acoustic barrier ceiling done to allow for MEP trades to fall back and go in there quicker.
PCO 138, this is a hardware change where we changed the doors for this opening to unequal leafs. The smaller leaf was too small for the panic device, so we had to switch to panic device with vertical rods.
PCO 140 was furnished the floor access panels in the kitchen for the grease interceptors. We did not purchase that with a sub, so Bond bought that direct from the vendor.
PCO 106, due to the conduit changes in the electric room that's next to the gang bathroom, it adjusted the dimensions of the individual stalls, which affected the prefab carrier and water piping for the toilets. So those prefab units that the subcontractor does in the shop had to be adjusted to align with the new dimensions of the stalls. PCO 56, this was in the auditorium. There were 6 volume dampers that we had to add because it was not clear on the drawings.
PCO 109 is concrete slab box outs that we had Marshall do for us. These were areas where we weren't ready to pour that item, but we needed to get the slab in. So there's 3 different areas. There's the volleyball sleeves in the gym. It was a storm pipe in between B building and A building that we needed to swap out from a 6 to an 8, and then the roof drains on D and F. So we box these out, and then that allows us to keep going in concrete floors. PCO 112 was provide additional rebar at roof slab penetrations. These openings required because additional rebar because they came after the slab already. I mean, the rebar was already set, and we needed to add these openings so that we had to put rebar in. PCO 125 is RFI 392. This is the connection details for the lightning mast and roof tie-off anchor supports. The architectural call for the lighting mast and roof tie-off anchors to have the structural steel provide a plate and a thermal break to tie into. The structural drawings only called for a column cap on those locations, so we asked the Miss Metal Sub to provide that for us.
PCO 130, this is at the head of two curtain wall frames where the head attaches the structure. There wasn't structure at these locations, so we had to add steel channels and hanging frames.
PCO 152 is RFI 343. The interior file sub bid contractor interpreted the drawings different than the way it was required. We needed to have security glass at the classrooms. They carried safety glass, which is not acceptable. They sent us a claim for $42,000. The project team agreed to split that cost with them. We went back to them and said, "Will you split the cost with us?" And they said yes, and they removed that claim. PCO 156 is casework. We're returning to the specified latching system in place. The alternate latch that we included during the original buy, this is a misbuy. The casework vendor proposed an alternate latching system to what was specified. We did a mock-up and it just didn't work out the way we planned. So during the submittal process, we decided to go back to the specified latch. We already had a buyout savings on that line, so we're using that buyout savings to go back to the original specified latching system.
Okay,
Is that 15?
that's 15.
What's the total amount?
320,943.
320,943.
But that's the, is that with is that SOB 15 dash revision 1? Or is that the old SOB?
That may be the
Remember, there was a change, there was a saving.
There's about a $2,000 savings for SOB dash 1.
Yes.
yeah.
So the credit.
Now you had the revision in there, Tim.
I didn't either. That's why I was hoping these guys might have.
Yeah, there was a new thing that came out.
The PCO 143 had a credit that wasn't applied to the original.
Yeah.
What was it, 8.5?
Just
PCO 1.
The original was and came down to 6. So
835. Okay.
yeah, you do have the
The right one in, but I
Maybe
think I
the
have the old total in.
the old total.
Well, you have the right,
I'm just saying what the original.
you have the right cost for 143 that you. Correct. Well, thank you.
This is like what could go wrong has gone wrong.
One of those nights.
Yeah.
So it is a
So
$0 contract change.
2,000. Well, they stocking.
Lynn, what is it?
So in total, it is a $0 contract change.
Right. Toward
I guess we can just approve it. So the contract change. All right, so I move that we accept change order number 15 for the total draw on the construction budget as being 0, as all expenses will either be taken from contingency or from holds and allowances.
Second.
Any questions or discussion?
My only question is, earlier in the present, unmute Lynn, but the budget that was shown, is this 320 included in the contingency total already?
No, this is a zero,
This is a-
zero. It's in the construction contingency, bonds contingency.
Bond, yeah.
Yeah, not ours.
Right.
Yeah.
Bonds contingency. So right now it says we expended like 2.2 million there. Is this 320 in that 2.2 million yet? I guess
It has been every
Yes,
other.
yes.
right.
Brendan, do you know that?
Yes.
Yes, it's updated.
It's updated.
The
Okay.
contingency sheet, yeah, it's updated.
Any questions or comments? Jason,
Yes.
Mark,
Yes.
Wayne.
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Chrissy. Chip,
Yes.
Aaron.
Yes.
Aaron, raise your hand. Say yes.
Yes.
We got a hand.
And Chip, it's 318,873. for 15.
What is
Or
it?
318,873.
So that will be $318,873 from drawdown on the construction contingency.
Also in your meeting presentation packet,
There was one more, number
Oh,
16.
hold on, Lynn. Go ahead, Lynn.
also in your meeting presentation package, you'll see the remaining balances of the GMP contingency, the holes and allowances.
Right here. The remaining amount. $56. The remaining balance for the allowances is $573,604 for a total of $4,179,860. The percentage of expenditures is 41%. Now, I don't, Lynn, do you have the number for the GMP bond?
Yes, it's the previous
Yeah, I don't-
slide.
And that's one.
The remaining GMP is 6,381,237.
Okay, makes sense.
That's the bond.
That's it.
GMP.
Right, which is where this is coming from.
Yeah.
All right, there was a change order number 16.
16, yes.
It's mostly electrical. What happened is it came in late. The electrician was pressuring Bond to pay some of these change orders. So we agreed to allow this to be done as tonight. The working group did. Go ahead.
Okay.
Bring them on.
PCO 96, this is where we added 4 data outlets and 3 electrical outlets in the TechNet office. When we discovered they were not shown, but they're required due to the design. PCO
Can you
1,
just state what the dollar amount is? Because nobody else is seeing this. I don't think that's
That's. You want individual lines?
Yeah.
Okay, can you go to the next one, sorry? That's $6,397.
PCO 116 is the various GMDs, which are the group mounted devices in parts A, B, and C, to provide the required power, data, clock power supplies that were not coordinated properly in the drawings. This also includes deletion of 160 duplex outlets. The clocks that were not needed because they're through the submittal process, they're low voltage. They don't need the duplex out. But so GMDs are is a group mounted devices. There's the clock, there's outlets, there's switches, there's controls that are in each classroom plus other supplemental spaces.
That is $39,497.
PCO 134, this is the relocation of 2 wireless access points, including adding 2 more in the auditorium to align with the design of the space.
That's $2,446.
Bargain.
PCO 135, this is the power for hand dryers. During the review of the accessory submittal, we discovered the hand dryer in a single stall toilet room in B1 and in the boys' locker room was missing power.
That's $2,555.
PCO 145, relocation of tel data and electrical outlets from the front edge of the stage to the back to the sidewalls at the front due to coordination of the location.
That is $1,231.
PCO 146 is providing power for the greenhouse vent motor that was coordinating with the drawing. The vent motor operates the vents at the top of the greenhouse.
That's $1,419.
PCO 153, this is the change to provide a circuit for an electrical coil in a VAV on level 3, part C.
Is $1,848.
PCO 158, we needed to add 7 power feeds, and then we deleted 7 power feeds, but relocated some of the controls for the shade systems.
That is $1,500.
PCO 154, the coordination, the power for the fire smoke dampers and duct smokes that were shown on the drawings, but the electrical connections were not coordinated for parts A, B, and D.
22,864 for a total SOV cost of 79,757.
Questions or comments before the motion?
Where's that money coming from?
Coming from the GMP contingency, yeah. So it's a zero,
No other question.
zero was.
So I move that we approve SOV 16 for the sum of 0 to the contingency. However, from construction contingency, the total is $79,757.
Second.
Any questions, further questions or comments? Seeing none, Jason?
Yep.
Mark?
Yes.
Wayne? John?
Yes.
Chrissy? Chip?
Yes.
Aaron?
Yes.
Unanimous. All right, so we did the invoices, we were able to do the change orders. The next item, let's do the FF&E review. Lauren?
You have the mic on yours. Yes.
Yes.
Questions?
Yes, until the end.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know, Lauren.
Laura, are you there?
I'm
Okay,
here.
why don't you get going?
Okay, so for those of you who I haven't met, but I think most everyone knows me, Lauren O'Brien with Stafira Associates. We are the furniture, fixtures, and equipment consultants on the project. So our role is really, the way I usually describe what we do is that if you were to dump the building upside down, everything that falls out is what we are responsible for, except technology. So any laptops or data devices, things like that, we would not be responsible for, but anything outside of that, your desks, chairs, the equipment that supports the fab lab, the engineering lab, all of that is what our role is. So I wanted to give kind of an overview of where we are currently. So back in May, we had our kind of final meetings with the end users to reconfirm everything, reaffirm also their equipment needs. So we spent, 3 days, 23 meetings chatting with everyone to make sure that what we were carrying and providing is supporting what their needs are. And then just a couple of weeks ago, I think I met most of you there at our sample sit test where we brought all of the furniture pieces that are proposed for the school to the conference room at the current school. And we had really great response from both students and educators. We had over 275 responses for students, educators to come in and view everything and sit in it and try it. So it was really great to see such a great turnout and investment in kind of what students and educators are excited about for the building. And then in just a few weeks, we'll be reviewing furniture finishes, which will be coordinated with all of the finishes that have been previously selected architecturally throughout the building. And that really kicks off our kind of busy time where we're then documenting everything. In December of this year, we'll be placing the bid advertisement. January will be our pricing and bid period. We price both the bid package, which across the board, it tends to be about 10% of the entire FF&E package goes out to bid, depending on where we are targeting with our equipment. That will likely be a little bit higher because we tend to, or will be higher because we tend to bid all of the equipment to get the most competitive prices. After that, we take everything in, we evaluate everything, we recheck it back against all of our specs, the finishes, everything that we've put out there and asked for, and we feed it back to this group to show kind of where we landed. and show how that compares to the budget that we had established, which we'll talk about. And then what we're targeting is that February will be when the package is approved, with purchase orders going out in mid-February. We have our production then from February through September, and the first phase of installation for parts A, B, and C of the building happening in October, and then D, E, and F happening in November, and then closing out FF and E in December, with students kind of moving in after that December break. So that's kind of what our next year or so will be looking like in order to get the FF&E to where it needs to be. I'll share the kind of information I have prepared prior to this, so that you can also just see what some of our documentation looks like for those tallies, the award notices, our specifications, so you can just see the level of detail that goes into making sure all of this gets coordinated to make the process more seamless as we move forward. But the kind of main reason I'm here is to talk about where our budget is and discuss kind of how things have changed over the past 3 years. So we established our schematic design budget in October of 2022. We had a $2,500 per student allotment by 1,000 students. That brought us to about the $2.5 million range. We also had to keep in mind that the WCAT and district offices are something that are considered below the line. So those are things that the MSBA does not reimburse for. So at the time when we developed schematic design, the WCAT portion was still in this kind of below the line budget, and that was about $226,000. At that time, the furniture had a total of about 1.9. After we had planned all that furniture, the remaining balance with our contingency was about 400,000 left for equipment. So that's to support any of the kind of extras that the school needs, that is not furniture that the students are going to be sitting at and using. So we established kind of our budget with a 1.9 total for furniture, $400,000 for equipment, and then with our 8% contingency, we landed at about 2.5. So that was in October of 22. At our our start of design development 2, what we would call our design development 2, which we issued in September of 24, we took a look at how that compared to our schematic design budget, because we did see quite a difference in where we landed. And this was kind of as scope with our team continues to get fleshed out. We saw, a change in work surfaces and teacher planning where they were previously millwork. They ended up in our scope for increased flexibility for teachers. Music storage became more significant as we continued to talk with the educators about the band needs, those types of things. Breakout spaces, so some of those spaces that students might interact with in between classes that aren't necessarily a classroom or an education space, that was more further developed. So our furniture budget alone, without the equipment, increased then to about 2.47. And we also at that time were gathering information on the equipment needs of the educators as well. And that essentially doubled. It went up to 835. So that, with our contingency of 8%, was a total of about 3.5 million. WCAT and district offices had an increase of about $50,000. So that was about 275 when we got to that point. So we really did have some significant scope changes and added breakout spaces. And that's why we did see that uptick in kind of where we ended up for schematic design versus our DD2. With that, then, as we kind of went into those meetings in May, we knew that equipment was going to be important as the school was developing a lot of new programs that they had not had previously. So we asked the school to give us what their equipment needs were. And that's where we really saw a pretty significant increase in the overall cost related to equipment. So we did see a slight uptick in furniture as well. I won't say that there wasn't one. It went to about 2.5 for the furniture alone, but equipment ended up at about 2.18, just with the needs of kind of the curriculum that the school was now going to be supporting. The WCAT was removed from the overall total of the district offices and kind of our below the line items. So that ended up at about 182. But with kind of the fully flushed out equipment needs that we saw from the school, plus our our district offices, as we met with the subcommittee related to furniture as well, it was recommended that we increase our contingency to 10% instead of 8%, which we had been carrying previously, which brings kind of our new grand total to 5.4. So it's absolutely a significant increase from where we were previously. What we see really is the equipment needs of the school are so robust with the new programs that they have, and that's really why we kind of are where we are. So with that, then, the conversation we really had with the subcommittee was about, moving forward in terms of getting documentation and procurement on track, and then having all of the pricing come back and making informed decisions about where things are related to approval of that number once we have more the kind of concrete numbers in the January, February timeframe.
Tonight, what we're asking, the subcommittee is asking the whole committee to just approve the bidding process that is going to occur in December, January period of time, so that you get the final numbers on all of this, the furniture and equipment. And in the meantime, if you saw the list that went out, some of the departments gave their prioritizations of 1, 2, 3, 4. Some of them just put 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. And some of them didn't. Some of them put down none, which I thought was interesting. No prioritization. When talking with Amy, the principal, she was already gone back to the various departments to ask them to redo their list, to really show the priorities that are needed. Even just with the priority 2 items was around 300,000 items that we could maybe look at, and that's what we want to do when we get to January, February, to look at all the various numbers and the various priorities that all the various departments have. So for tonight, the only thing is needed, and correct me if I'm wrong, Lauren, is for you to go forward and to submit everything for the bidding process, correct?
Yeah, what we just need to make sure that you're comfortable with us moving forward, pricing the entire package. And then as I spoke with the subcommittee, this really gives us the best picture of where pricing is. So then we're not making any decisions beforehand that might impact things later that maybe we didn't need to do. As Joe mentioned, we've already started the process of prioritizing what, especially related to equipment, needs to be removed. I know there were questions from the subcommittee about swapping out items in terms of lower cost and things like that. And I do just want to reiterate that normally when we do this process, it's not enough to say, like, let's swap this student chair for this student chair. The impacts really come when we're removing things altogether. And where we are in terms of the scope of the education spaces, the breakout spaces, the media center, we're not carrying anything that is what I would consider to be atypical for a high school at this level. So I just want to make sure that is why we see the equipment and we say, okay, can we look at some things that maybe can be scaled back or maybe aren't like they're not a need to have, but a nice to have. So Amy and her team have already started that process. And when we get that pricing back, we can already make decisions quickly related to what things end up being procured and end up on the purchase orders.
Your FF&E subcommittee meetings.
Yes.
Yes.
So essentially, in summary, we're over budget. Together, and we protect the budget as best as possible. And then having Amy go back to the staff and have them reprioritize. That will then allow us to maybe have some additional low hanging fruit, should we not be able to use the contingencies, you know, to cover that. So I think it protects us, it gets us the best information, puts together a plan where we could reduce costs if we need to. And it still allows us to maintain the project schedule. So I think it's a well thought out plan.
Thank you.
Karen? Karen?
Sorry, waiting on me. I was on mute. Apologies. Yeah, again, as part of the committee, we've had several conversations about this, and this makes the most sense in terms of keeping the schedule. And, you know, if we need to make some adjustments from a budgetary perspective, we don't need to do that now. We can, you know, work as a team and decide how to lay that out once we get the actual pricing back.
The room is muted. Oh, okay, sorry. Thanks.
Fully decentize like cost, unit cost. So.
That's why we're okay moving forward. We recommend moving forward with the bidding process. Exec committee.
All right. Can I just ask one question? Just
Yeah, Jeff.
on the equipment, just because that's the piece, right? It's like 5-6 times too much. Did the conversation or the way that we had the discussions with the school like change that it went so much? Do we ask them for different things than we did 2 years ago? I guess like I'm just trying to understand how it went up so much.
Yeah, so 2 years ago, we provided them with example lists of what we've seen at other high schools, other, you know, middle schools, you know, of similar size. I think honestly, what we have seen is that these programs have changed so much that the needs have changed so significantly, and where before it was enough for us to allot, you know, 400, you know, even sometimes up to 600,000 for a high school and be able to get them the equipment they need. The way that the programs have changed has really impacted that number really significantly, and getting that information in the SD portion is actually become a much higher priority for everyone across the board, because it's not enough to just say, let's carry an allowance, because of how the programs have changed and evolved over the past few years. In addition to that, the climate that we developed these budgets in was a much different climate. I know that Joe brought up at our meeting on Tuesday just the concerns related to tariffs and things like that. And so we have seen significant change, especially with equipment, because it's many times manufactured in other places, how that is impacted as well by the cost. So I think that there is definitely situations where folks will make almost something that's like a wish list, but I will say that Amy and her team really spent a lot of time going back to them and saying, okay, well, let us know, we need to know what you need, but we also need to know what you need to function. You know, it's not just about like, here's what I want, it's about like, here's what's actually going to get the curriculum moving forward. And so really, I think that's why we've seen such a significant jump in that.
Go ahead.
The MSBA recognized that there's a huge increase. Where before they had I think it was $1,000 per student. I think something like that.
1,200, yeah.
They drastically increased it, but our agreement with MSBA, so we were not able to take advantage of their increased aid.
Unfortunate.
I think it went up for furniture from 1,200 to what was it, 1950?
That's up 1,900, right?
Yeah, 1915.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Sorry, the room is muted. We can't hear what the room is saying if there is anything being said.
Like you were talking.
This is terrible.
Glenn, can you hear us?
Oh, you can now, yeah.
I can hear,
hold
I
on.
can hear you. I didn't, did you guys have a
Everything
question?
shows as muted on the screen, like, so I'm not sure what's going on.
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Yes,
All right, so we'll just have a motion to allow us the board to move forward with the bidding process.
So I will make a motion to move forward with the FF&E bidding process for review upon return of all the information.
Second.
Any further discussion or comments? Hearing none. Jason?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
Wayne?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Chrissy?
Yeah.
Chip?
Yes.
Aaron?
Yes.
Yeah, no.
Cheers.
All right, is there anything else we could do?
The only thing, just approve the new updated roster for the SBC. If you want to do that, or it can wait.
We have to approve a new roster for the, to go to the MSBA, because the town manager has changed. The chairman of the school committee probably changed, several changes have been made. So there's a whole new roster that has to go to the MSBA. And we need a vote to approve the updated roster.
I move that we approve the updated roster.
I second.
Any questions or comments? Hearing none. Jason?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
Wayne?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Chrissy? Chip?
Yes.
Aaron?
Yes.
It's unanimous.
Who's on the roster?
Uh,
The town administrator.
The old roster had old
Steve
members, had Steve Mayo,
Tom Galvin still in
Tom
it.
Galvin, etc.
Construction update?
Yeah, just, quickly, Marcus, we get the daily, so, we're pretty well informed, and it's not. You don't have pictures for us, so it's really we can't handle it. We needed pictures.
Do you want one or?
Can you draw?
Can go quick, yeah, can you draw?
Big Quigley is coming back on site. They're setting up wow.
This isn't quick.
No, it's not quick at all.
Is everybody on schedule?
Yeah, everybody's on schedule.
Done.
The precast came in last week. Dave reviewed it against the color range that we got.
Much more consistent color.
Excellent.
Yes.
It started going on the building. So we're good there. Another delivery is coming. I thought it was coming today, but it's coming soon. We are starting the Burnett Field bases next week. Wrigley's coming to set up their erosion control tomorrow. So we'll get for the lights.
Light
those will
bases,
go in. Drywall, we're full steam ahead. I think we have like 50 guys there. Various spaces. We're framing over in the D and F area. We're boarding and taping in the academic area. We're just kind of chasing the envelope, trying to get weather tight for the winter. That's kind of our priority right now. So, yeah, that's good. Glasses started coming. Not all of it, so it's a mixture of permanent, and we're gonna have to be putting temps in to get weather tight. So that's the plan right now.
And the precast,
Good.
is working out great now. The police are perfect.
But we'll continue to monitor it as it comes in.
Do you have a date goal to be air type, or be weather type?
Ideally before December, but it doesn't seem like that's gonna happen, so we'll, that's our main focus, is to get tight.
That's slowing it down.
I think roofing and weather kind of slowed us down, and then I think just getting the glass and working through the current wall details right now, so.
All right, any further questions or construction? One other thing before we go, if there's anyone else doesn't have anything, there was a question that came up as to whether we make a presentation as to the progress to the fall town meeting.
Is that a required item or?
No,
They're asking.
no, It's not required.
Was this a request from, who was the question from?
I guess that was my question.
The late Steve Vale.
Steve thought it would be good to present to the town where we stand, how the project's going. You know, the town is spending 278 million or whatever we're spending. I don't know whether it would be better, Jonathan, to just go to town council and give you guys the update, or whether it should go in front of the whole town.
So I would suggest it probably is a good time to do a town council update. For town meeting, we'd obviously need to check with the moderator in terms of his preference on that. He's often been sort of reticent to have things that aren't on the warrant presented at town meeting, so
Is the warrant still open?
the warrant is not open, no.
Oh, it's closed.
But I think that's.
Oh, that ends that.
That
That made it easy.
I think, I mean, town council is
Yeah,
certainly one we should,
yeah, oh, absolutely,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I didn't know if it was still open or not. I
No,
had no
no,
idea.
it's closed.
Fine. Perfect.
Jonathan, you wanna think about what meeting you want that to happen at, like probably a light one?
So I know Joe and I talked about the fact that there will be some sort of
Absolutely.
naming proposals that need to come in front of the town council at some point, so I would
Yeah.
say we coordinate it with that.
With that.
Whenever it happens.
We had talked about the naming of the theater, talked about there's various parts of in the high school right now that are named for individuals. And we all thought that it's not our job to deal with that. And the naming policy is it has to go to the town council. Jonathan has suggested that we provide a letter to the town council along with a letter from the school department as to what our thoughts are as to how to go forward with the naming of the various sites. Obviously, there's certain memorials that are there that, you know, probably shouldn't remain, but we're gonna have to talk to the school department about it.
Yeah, and I think there is a distinction too between something that's named and just like a memorial.
Yeah.
plaque.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
a memorial plaque doesn't need to come to the town council, but if we're naming the auditorium, if we're naming, you know, the learning commons or something like that, those would be the things that need to go to the town council for approval.
It's gonna be the Chip Tarbell Ice Palace. Oh, wait a minute, we didn't get that.
No, we didn't get that.
Not yet.
No hockey rink.
Yeah. Where's that ring?
He wanted the parking garage, that's all. All right. I think that's it. Anybody else? Anything else? Sorry about the technology.
I'll email Sherry.
Yeah, we'll have to, I'm sure she probably is gonna be made aware of it.
So you wanna give it?
Okay.
It's probably going
Oh, that version. You should not have, you should not have.
All right, so, well, we did best we could. Thanks a lot, everybody.
Bye bye.